this is Toy Customizer Wake Angel 2001, and I'm bringing you another custom action figure. This one's a commission from FA user Creep From Behind. It's his OC, Natalia. So Natalia is like a tiger girl with cybernetic limbs. And this is the first time that I decided to make the custom with a Blaze the Cat figure as the base. Yeah, so this is a first. So at first I was a little wary dismantling the Blaze figure, since she feels like she's made out of slightly stiffer plastic and has thinner limbs than average, but just stick her in the hot water and she comes apart just as easily as any other Sonic figure. Although, I gotta warn you, none of her pegs would appear to be compatible with other characters. As you can see from the breakdown here, everything from her neck peg to her waist peg to the hips, shoulders, even her ankles and wrists. All of them are just different size pegs from every other figure, so you won't be able to swap parts between two characters if one of them is Blaze. I'm just putting that out there because I know some people might try. So the head would require quite a bit of modification. First thing I did was cut off Blaze's slightly upturned cheek tufts so I could sculpt in downturned cheek tufts in her place. I made her ears a little fatter because there's a little bit more substance to Natalia's ears than Blaze's had. And I sculpted on her hair, which in itself was quite a challenge because it was hard to figure out how it was supposed to go. You see, all the pictures that Creep From Behind had of Natalia were of a more realistic anthropomorphic style rather than the cartoony Sonic style. That doodle at the beginning is something that I had to make up to be sure that I could get the character's appearance down. Yeah, then I painted her up, standard pseudo-tiger fare. She's kinda orange, a few black stripes. Her hair is like rusty red. I made it by mixing a little bit of brown, red, and orange paints. It's kind of similar to the original Princess Sally hair. The torso and tail were next. Besides enhancing the bust line and adding a bit of fluff to the cleavage like the character has, I had to add a little bit of material to the waist because there's an obvious seam in there where room has been made for Blaze's articulated coattails. Then I made the tail. It's this really big cybernetic thing. Blaze's original tail is in there to provide structural support, although I did have to cut it off and reattach it at a lower angle because it was unbalancing the figure. Painted up, the cybernetics are of course silver, and the organic part of her body is pretty much the same colors as her head. Cream colored belly, orange fur, and some black stripes. Arms and legs, of course, required extensive modification. First of all was cutting off all those spikes that are supposed to represent the fluff in Blaze's gloves and socks, which is unbelievably tedious to do, trust me. Then I cut off a little bit of the end of her toe so that I could sculpt on the individual, robot toes. Now, Natalia has a bit more of a digigrade foot instead of a plantigrade foot like most characters have. This is where Blaze's high-heeled shoe actually helps out, because flattening the top a little bit, and of course putting the toes in and putting a big obvious ankle joint, sells its look as a digigrade foot. Of course, if I actually cut the heels off, then the figure wouldn't be able to stand, so what I did was paint them black so that they look more like negative space. Alright, you see this thing? This is the hand from a crayon. What's it for? Well, I found that it grips Blaze's arm pretty much perfectly. And, as this character has a piece of shoulder armor, which trying to physically attach to the arm itself would have limited shoulder articulation, this was a great mounting point for that piece of shoulder armor. Just stick the crayon hand on the bicep. I had a little bit of glue so it wouldn't fall off, and then sculpt it in. Then I had to paint the arms. I painted them mostly silver, but I left those things on the fronts of her forearms as a matte gray so that they look more like the synthetic muscle thing. They're designed to look more rubbery. That's just what I interpreted from the drawings I saw. And so here's Natalia reassembled. For the record, her wrist articulation still works, which is useful to prevent her forearm and shoulder armor from clipping when you bend her elbows. And although in these pictures she's bouncing on her tail like a third leg, she is capable of standing with the tail in the air. Which surprised me when I managed to do it. I guess the table I was standing her on was just at an angle which led me to think she couldn't do it. But she can. So this has been Toy Customizer Wake Angel 2001, and this has been Natalia. See you next time.